electronic medical records, agri-tech management system, and homeland security. Mr. Speaker, members of the House of Assembly, our resolve to revolutionize our infrastructure is hinged on our 3R mantra. From the beginning, we have not wavered on our signature projects. Today, our roads are built to standard gauges with proper drainage and full illumination. It is with immense pride that I report to this House some of the roads we have successfully completed in 2025. The 46-kilometer Owerri-Umuahia Carriage Road has been completed. The iconic Imo flyover at Assumpta Roundabout, completed. The Alaba International Market Road, completed. The Toronto-Oji-Ekemoha Road, completed. The Ihiala Banana Junction, St. Joseph Church, Eziashi Road, completed. The Mbudi Omuma Okporo Road, completed. Nkume Umuawa Road, completed. Owerri Mbise Malaysia Market, Abia boundary, completed. However, we are not resting. We have a suite of ongoing projects that are aggressively proceeding, including the Naze Timber Market Road Safety Road, the Awomama Okodo Road, the Chukwumamoha Oji Flyover, Amakoya Flyover, Onitsha Road Axis, the new regional government house Eziashi Olo Road, the critical Olo Akokwa Oga Road. We are completing by the end of January the complete resurfacing of control post Assumpta up to the boundary of Imo and Amoka, that is the Onitsha Express Road. The Naze Nekede Road is ongoing. The Port Harcourt Road to Elmerelo boundary, River State boundary, is ongoing. The Amere Ata Nkume Road, the airport runway, we have embarked on the complete upgrade of Sambakwe International Airport runway. We're extending the runway and we are upgrading the light from Cat 1 to Cat 2. The Avo Obosima Etekuru Road, which is 24.8 kilometers. Nkwere Umudi Dikanafai Road. The expansion of our Fogidiamu Ifeke to Mbudi Junction Road. The new Imo Internal Revenue Service. We have already awarded the contract to Kremborg to build the revenue house, and 50% down payment has been made to Kremborg. And by the end of the first quarter next year, we shall be commissioning the completed building. The rehabilitation and asphalt overlay of Mbudi Road, 33.1 kilometer dual carriage, is going. The Kanuanko Avenue, Owerri, Nimpi, Amago, Akuma Road, internal roads at Egbad Housing Estates, 3 kilometers. The construction of Assumpta, Umuguma Road, Hospital Road, and Choosing Dreamland Hotel Road. The rehabilitation of the Zoo, Old Nekede Road, Claration University Road. The construction of the new functional zoo at the Eziama in Ikeduru local government. The rehabilitation of 13 roads in Olo Urban Center. The rehabilitation of itinerary and feeder roads to Concord Avenue. Mr. Speaker, so many projects are ongoing. But my desire, by the grace of God, is to leave no project abandoned or uncompleted before the end of my term. Let me assure you, all these ongoing projects shall be given the first charge of completion in 2026 before we embark on new ones. We are now focused on finishing strong, and we have to finish strong. There is no difference between our first year and our last year. We are an active government. Mr. Speaker, members of the House of Assembly, our vision for Imo State is to be the logistic gateway of the East. We have already channeled significant resources to assist Federal Airport Authority in upgrading facilities at Sam Mbakwe International Cargo Airport, including the installation of crucial night landing facilities. This investment is already bearing historic fruit. This year, the Sam Mbakwe International Cargo Airport recorded major milestones by undertaking its first direct international flights successfully, lifting Christian pilgrims and Muslim pilgrims directly to Israel and directly to Saudi Arabia from Owerri. This proves our capacity for global connectivity. Now we are ready for the transformative phase. We are actively seeking a robust public-private partnership concession to operationalize the cargo terminal. This initiative is designed to reposition the airport as the premier logistics hub for the entire Southeast and South-South zone. To ensure viability, we are creating a strategic economic corridor linking the airport to the Owerri Special Energy Free Trade Zone, where our gas reserves will drive industrial production. Crucially, the establishment of the Afrexim Bank Africa Quality Assurance Center, ACAC, in Imo State, serves as the master key to this plan. This center provides the certification leverage needed to ensure that goods and agricultural produce originating from Imo State meet global standards, making them ready for immediate export through our upgraded cargo terminal. Justice and the rule of law. Mr. Speaker, the achievements in this sector are quantifiable and robust. In the period under review, the Ministry of Justice handled over 3,000 matters pending at both the Supreme Court, Court of Appeal, and the High Court and Magistrate Courts. We have successfully defended the government against civil appeals, proactively recovered government properties, and settled about 20 petitions through alternative dispute resolutions. Furthermore, we have collected judgments for the Imo State Law Reports 2023 to 2025, which is now ready for presentation. For 2026 to 2028 period, our plans are ambitious. We will commence the construction of a new Ministry of Justice complex and renovate 5 public prosecution buildings at Owerri, in Abombise, in Olo, Oguta, and Okigwe. And this week, we will establish 5 new alternative dispute resolution centers in these same zones and fully digitalize case management for real-time monitoring. In education, Mr. Speaker, we have done clinically work to sanitize this sector by verifying teachers, harmonizing the timetable, and streamlining their curriculum. The results are already yielding fruits. Imo State has been nominated to represent Nigeria at the forthcoming presidential school debate in Morocco this December. We've taken decisive steps to bridge the manpower gap by approving the employment of 6,000 new teachers for our primary schools and training about 200 teachers through the British Council on inclusive pedagogy. In the area of regulation, we registered about 500 new private schools while clamping down on those operating without approval. We also introduced a policy where textbooks are used for 4 consecutive years to save costs for parents. In 2026, we shall continue the massive renovation of more units of modern school blocks across our primary schools and secondary schools, as well as the special school at Orodo in Mbitolu local government. Yes, we are building both solid classrooms and sound minds. Mr. Speaker, the welfare of Imo State public servants is a top priority. We have religiously maintained the prompt payment of 100% salaries and pensions as a first-line charge at the end of every month. We are clearing the backlog of gratuities and salaries that had accumulated for years. Furthermore, sensitive to the crushing burden of the national economy, I increased the minimum wage to 104,000 for civil servants and may even increase the more if revenue and income permits, with the entry level for lecturers set at 222,000 because we have always been proactive in labor matters. We've maintained a harmonious working relationship with the organized labor. Beyond wages, we have restored electricity and potable water to the 10 buildings in the Secretariat complex after over a decade of neglect. Our fleet of shared prosperity shuttle buses now covers the entire Owerri metropolis, conveying workers efficiently to work. We also trained 1,426 officers from grade level 06 to 08 on ICT to enhance productivity. In 2026 fiscal year, we will embark on the re-roofing of the office buildings at the Secretariat complex and rehabilitate the walkways. We will construct a 3-story building and conference hall for the Office of the Head of Service and a dedicated administrative block for the Civil Service Commission. Finally, to ensure integrity in the service, we will introduce smart, automated ID cards to eliminate ghost workers. There will be a clock-in and clock-out system. In the area of health, Mr. Speaker, in the health sector, our collaboration with development partners has yielded tremendous results. We have partnered with Gates Foundation for malaria elimination training and secured a World Bank project implemented by the Clinton Health Access Initiative to aggressively tackle malaria in 2026. We upgraded the Imo State Central Medical Stores to a farmer-grade warehouse and established a health data governance framework. At the grassroots, we are building brand new 55 primary health care facilities and recruited 305 skilled birth attendants to provide 24-hour maternal care. Through the Imo State Health Insurance Agency, we enrolled 12,225 pregnant women into the Basic Health Care Provision Fund and paid health premiums for 22,108 pensioners and 37,323 civil servants. Our target remains the enrollment of minimum of 2.7 million Imo residents. At the tertiary level, we sustained neurosurgical services at Imo State Specialist Hospital and established a mental health and rehabilitation center. At Imo State University Teaching Hospital, we installed a 200 kVA solar system and refurbished the house officers' quarters. In 2026, we will fully computerize Imo State University Teaching Hospital, pursue accreditation of programs, and complete resident doctors' quarters. At the local government and chieftaincy affairs ministry sector, Mr. Speaker, having granted full autonomy to local governments and conducted council elections, the state now plays a supervisory role to ensure coordination. To complement grassroots mobilization, we have issued staff of office to traditional rulers and completed the renovation of the traditional rulers complex in Bari. In the area of youth and sports development, Mr. Speaker, we have renovated the Dan Ayam Stadium to international standards. Consequently, our athletes won gold at the World Tennis Open in Morocco and bronze at the African School Games in Algeria. In the coming year, we shall construct a multi-purpose hall at the National Youth Service Corps Permanent Orientation Camp at Uzodinma Owerri in Nkwere. Tourism, hospitality, and culture. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, we have invested heavily to return Imo State to its premier position as tourism hub in the country. In 2025 fiscal year, we commenced the comprehensive renovation of Imo Concord Hotel, which will be managed by Hilton Hotel Group upon completion. This iconic edifice, now a world-class 5-star hotel, will be commissioned in a few weeks' time. We also completed the Emmanuel Iwanyama International Conference Center to speak to the hotel. Looking ahead to 2026, we are transforming the Greenbelt stretch of Owerri River into a recreational facility through a special purpose vehicle, with delivery expected before the end of the year 2026. We are also constructing a brand new zoo at Amamba, Eziama in Ikedru local government area, targeted for completion in August 2026, having demolished the old zoo at Nekede. On the cultural front, we will construct a museum village in Omudurufo, Amiibo, to immortalize King Jaja of Opobo, honoring the ancestral home from where he was taken into captivity. We will also upgrade the Ezala and Dungu Springs, build a proposed Imo State Film Village and Academy, and reconstruct the Mbari Cultural Center. These projects are specifically targeted at encouraging our sons and daughters whose creative talents are making waves in the Nollywood to domicile the film industry in Imo State. In the area of power, Mr. Speaker, members of the House of Assembly, our goal is 24-hour electricity. To this end, we secured the license for the Rush Electricity Company. We have completed 95% of the 15-kilometer 33 kV line network from Ebu to New Owerri, and from Owerri to Olo up to Omoma Polytechnic, now University of Innovation, Science and Technology, and are on the verge of completing the 45-kilometer 11 kV distribution network. Critically, the Ebu to Olo 52-kilometer of 132 kV transmission line is ongoing, as well as the massive 330 kV dual-cycle transmission line from Aloji in Abia State to Ebu. The Imo State Electricity Regulatory Commission has been fully operationalized and have since started monitoring and managing the power market. For 2026, we will procure 16,600 prepaid meters, 3,800 three-phase, and 12,800 single-phase to be sold to Imo at a very affordable rate to discourage estimated billing, which has been the system we met on ground. We will also establish an electronic workshop for the Regulatory Commission. As it stands, I can confidently declare here that in a few weeks' time, the first phase of the Light Up Imo project will be commissioned. This phase will significantly cover Owerri metropolis. The next phase, which will follow in quick succession, will cover the rest of Imo State. This means that sooner than later, the 27 local government areas in Imo State shall have a 24/7 electricity supply. Achieving this feat has not been an easy one. Along the road, we were confronted with a well-scripted conspiratory plot designed to torpedo the Light Up Imo project. But because we are well resolved and unflinchingly in our focus, we were not deterred. To the glory of God, we have overcome those conspiratorial distractions and we are marching forward, sure-footed, to provide the Imo people with an uninterrupted power supply. Let me use this auspicious occasion to make this clear. No amount of conspiracies or machinations by any cabal can stop us from providing alternative and affordable electricity to our people. Rural development and water resources. Through the Rural Access and Mobility Project, RAM2, we have achieved 70% completion of 82 rural road projects across 26 local government areas and completed 7 river crossing projects. In 2026, we shall continue to expand access roads within our rural communities. In the water sector, we have rehabilitated water schemes at Otamiri, at Imo State University, Dikenafai, Oguta, Ameri, Ubomiri, and Umoba. Through the Soil Wash program, We are revitalizing water supply across all the 27 local government areas. In 2026, we intend to adopt a working water policy and law and develop an open defecation-free roadmap. Mr. Speaker, this is very necessary because most of the water schemes at our rural areas are either not functioning or has been broken down, and most of the markets has no toilet facilities, a situation that has not helped our struggle for a hygiene-friendly environment. Mr. Speaker, honorable members of the House, we have developed the draft Imo State Climate Change Law and are updating the inventory of erosion sites. We are also on the verge of the second phase of the new map EIB project to tackle erosion. In 2026, we shall rehabilitate the Imo Environment Laboratory and prioritize sustainable waste management. To ensure prudent land management, we established a digital land registry known as the Imo Land Information Service Center to curb racketeering. The manual land administration process had been a very big bottleneck to investment in the state. This new land information center, a one-stop center offering comprehensive digital land administration information in the state through a secure portal that uses blockchain technology to create tamper-proof ledgers, not only guarantees the confidence of investors, but also has a clear potential for a quantum leap in increased internal revenue earnings. The Office of the Surveyor General of Imo State has also been strengthened with an additional 70 staff to support our digital land administration. In the solid mineral sector, our resource mapping confirms commercial quantities of limestone at Okigwe, kaolin at Ihimembano, laterite at Ngobala, lead zinc at Isu. We shall establish a solid mineral laboratory in 2026, and we will liaise with the federal government on how best to put these minerals into economic use. In the area of petroleum, gas, and the Niger Delta affairs, currently, overseas oil and gas companies have commenced acquisition and construction in Owerri with a mandate to establish offices within the state. We are awaiting the decision of the Boundary Adjustment Commission, which we believe will favor our claim to the disputed oil wells and significantly boost our 13% derivation revenue. Meanwhile, we have successfully settled cases between communities and oil companies in 2025. In 2026, we will provide social amenities to these host communities and partner with the NDDC to ensure they benefit from all the interventions of Niger Delta Development Commission. Mr. Speaker, members of the House of Assembly, security remains the foundation upon which all our development rests. We have established the Imo Vigilante outfit. We have successfully recruited and trained almost 10,000 able men and women and trained them in the maintenance of peace and order. They are working closely with traditional rulers and town union executives, security agencies to flush out illegal harbingers from our land. Today, the results are visible to all. Nightlife is gradually returning to Imo State. We have successfully hosted mass gatherings of reputable organizations, such as the Nigerian Union of Journalists. They hosted their annual conference, Nigerian Guild of Editors, and countless religious conferences in both urban and remote areas without a single breach of peace. To cap it all, the state recently hosted the Imo World Economic and Investment Summit, one of the most consequential gatherings on the continent. This pioneering event drew world leaders, including serving and former presidents, notably the former UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson, stated publicly that he felt safe in Imo, dispelling the negative and overblown media reports of the past. This event was held without any incident. There can be no louder signal of the return of peace and normalcy than this. However, we will not relent until every inch of Imo territory is safe. We shall consolidate these security gains to guarantee our economic breakthroughs. Mr. Speaker, members of the House of Assembly, the information management is critical to protecting our history and shaping public understanding. In line with our digital revolution, we are commissioning a comprehensive history of our state from 1976, when it was created, to 2026. This compendium will chronicle the journey of Imo State from its creation up to the current fiscal year, timed to coincide with the 50th year anniversary of the creation of Imo State in February 2026, which we intend to celebrate very robustly. This ambitious project is designed to capture and correct the historical narratives encompassing the contributions of all leaders from the time of Ndubisi Kalu to the present administration. Crucially, the final work will be completely digitized, making this official history universally accessible to every citizen, to every scholar, to researchers, both within and outside the country. Furthermore, we will establish the Imo State e-library platform. This platform will serve as a digital library and repository for all public and private documents and assets for the Ministry of Information, complete with metadata-rich indexing and search capabilities. It will also provide visibility and evidence-based statistical dashboards to visualize government achievements and milestones. We will write our own history. We tell the world who we are, and then the world will believe us. To further advance the digital public orientation, we are undertaking a massive overhaul of the Imo State Broadcasting Corporation. In the next 4 months, both IBC, radio and television arms will be completely digitized and transformed. This upgrade will ensure that IBC content is accessible through major cable services and leading digital platforms, dramatically expanding the reach of government information and public enlightenment across the globe. Mr. Speaker, members of the House of Assembly, our vision in agriculture, food security, and job creation. In 2025, we supported over 5,000 smallholder farmers, launched the Imo State Accelerated Agri-Entrepreneurship Scheme for 1,500 youths, and trained 885 farmers under Imo Live ND programs. The 2026 budget is a call to action. We target a 25% increase in food production and the creation of 10,000 jobs in this sector. We will operationalize 2 agro-processing clusters under the Special Agro-Processing Zone initiatives to reduce post-harvest losses. By 30%. This is how we will unlock all the economic potentials in Imo State. Now, let us go into the benchmarks for the 2026 budget. Mr. Speaker, members of the House of Assembly, this budget is benchmarked on the following national macroeconomic indicators. A gross development product, a GDP growth of 4.2%, an inflation rate of 18.02%, an exchange rate of 1,442 naira to the US dollars, and on crude oil price of $68 per barrel. Despite global instability and local challenges, our fiscal strategy is designed to withstand all these shocks. The gross domestic product of 4.2% is derived from federal government benchmark for the national budget. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I have chosen to designate the 2026 budget as the budget of economic breakthrough. You will recall that last year's budget was christened the budget of expanded economic opportunities. I made it clear then that 2025 budget will give vent to our people to reap from the numerous economic opportunities. We have laid the foundations for through the previous year's budgetary expenditures. You will agree with me that in the course of the year, those economic opportunities have been made manifest, with better roads scattered all over Imo State. Goods and services are freely moved from one location to the other in the state. Our markets are booming and our traders are prospering, with huge investments in human capital development. Through skill acquisition, our young ones are gaining employment. We declare prospects for increased investment arising from the recent Imo Economic and Investment Summit. It is now evident that an era of economic breakthrough lies ahead for the people of Imo State from 2026 onwards. There shall be economic breakthroughs through the Light Up Imo project, which will create over 100,000 jobs and empower downstream small enterprises. Salons, carpentry, workshops, plumbing services, tailoring shops, and many other small businesses will boom once we have 24/7 electricity supply. There will be breakthroughs in oil and gas investments, breakthroughs in Owerri Special Energy Free Trade Zone, breakthroughs through a truly functional Sam Mbakwe International Cargo Airport, breakthroughs through enhanced internal revenue generation powered by our Digital Land Information Center, and the massive breakthroughs through our ever-innovative digital economic revolution. So yes, 2026 is the year of economic breakthroughs for our state and for our people. This is why this budget is aptly christened the budget of economic breakthroughs. Mr. Speaker, members of Imo State House of Assembly, I hereby present budget of economic breakthroughs with a total sum of 1,439,573,590,405 naira and 4 kobo. I repeat, 1,439,573,590,405 naira 4 kobo. This represents a 78% increase from the 2025 budget of 807 billion. This quantum leap is predicated on improved federal allocation and internally generated revenue, and my ambition to eradicate a generator-based power economy and provide world-class infrastructure to facilitate the envisaged economic breakthroughs. Expenditure distribution. Recurrent expenditure. Provisions for recurrent expenditure is 238,499,999,653 naira, representing 16.6% of the total budget. This covers personnel costs, overheads, and subventions. Capital expenditure. A massive 1,201,073,590,752 naira 4 kobo, representing 83.4% of the total budget is allocated for capital expenditure. This is a clear statement of our direction and determination to provide needful infrastructures for economic development. IMO has risen. The 2026 budget framework is benchmarked on the following macroeconomic projections. The federal government medium-term expenditure framework, fiscal strategy paper, gross domestic growth rate of 3.24%, inflation rate of 18.02%. The exchange rate is pegged at 1,522 naira per dollar. The benchmark price of oil is $64.30, while the production volume rate per day is 1.84 million barrels per day. Other prevailing issues within the economy include a high debt service to revenue ratio, infrastructural deficit, such as inadequate power supply and transportation network, constraining industrial and productivity growth, a high level of unemployment and poverty, which continue to pose strong socioeconomic challenges. Furthermore, high level of insecurity in the country and the effect of the Ukrainian and Gaza wars further deepened economic instability. The recurrent revenue, internally generated revenue, our projection is 281,755,391,177 naira. Statutory allocation from FAC, 70,920,860,185. Value added tax, 104,196,115,900 naira. 13% derivation, 36,442,889 naira. Other fact transfers, 329,956,893,448, totaling 823,271,261,599 naira. Capital receipts. Descriptions of the capital receipts from development partners is expected to be within the neighborhood of 52 billion. Grants, funds from donor agencies, 329 billion. A total expectation, 382.7 billion. Overhead costs, 97 billion, 11,323,958 naira. Personnel cost, 58 billion. Subvention cost, 53.4 billion. The total recurrent expenditure is 238 billion, 499,999,653. This represents 16.6% of the total budget. Now, the capital expenditure, sectorially speaking, on the economic sector, 1 trillion, on social sector, 87 billion, on admin sector, 32 billion, and service-wide vote, 50 billion, giving us a total of 1.2 trillion. In the year 2026, the expected capital expenditure is 1.2 billion. This represents 83.4% of the budget. 2026 allocation to strategic ministries. The Ministry of Health, 698 billion. Works, 87 billion. Power, 190 billion. Education, 60 billion. Agric, more than 20 billion. Rural development and economic empowerment, 15 billion. Entrepreneurship and skill acquisition, 6.4 billion. The total expected revenue for 2026 in Table 1 and in Table 2 is in the neighborhood of 1.2 trillion. The total expected expenditure for 2026 in Table 1 and in Table 4 is within the neighborhood of 1.439 trillion. Total expected deficit is 233.5 billion. Justification for the huge allocation to strategic ministries of health, power, works, and education. Improvement in the health sector by rehabilitation of health facilities, both at the primary, secondary, and tertiary level, with the provision of essential drugs and the eradication of maternal and child micronutrient deficiency is very critical, because without a healthy mind, we can hardly do anything. In works, the whole idea is to a continuous provision of infrastructure amenities and completion of all ongoing projects to avoid littering the state with uncompleted projects, and the quest to reduce the level of rural-urban migration by providing solid roads in the hinterlands, hence the hike in allocation of funds to this sector. Government is also committed to the provision of independent, constant power supply to drive the economy, especially the small, medium enterprises in the state, and attract other investors that might be willing to invest in the state. As soon as we have steady power supply in Imo State, investors from outside the state will want to settle in Imo State to do their businesses. The government is working towards providing 24-hour constant electricity supply to Imolites. Education is very critical. The provision of basic education to ensure that every child's literacy level is not toyed with. This prompted the government to make enough provision to take care of improving teaching aids, training and retraining of teachers, rehabilitation of schools within political wars in the state. Also, Imo State has so many tertiary institutions which needs to be catered for. In conclusion, Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I will not conclude this speech without a special salutation to the members of this House of Assembly. Over the years, you have proven to be true partners in progress. You have given your full support and cooperation to the executive arm of government. You have been faithful to your legislative duties through the passage of many bills and motions that connect with the welfare of our people. You fought the fight, a good fight for that matter, with me, and you have won the battle with me. You have confounded those who expected friction between the legislature and the executive. More importantly, you have served your constituents with distinction. I must tell you, I am indeed very proud of you. Imo people are proud of the 10th House of Assembly and the 9th House of Assembly, even before you.
In the coming years, we shall continue to work as a team, mindful of the interests of the people who elected us to serve them.
To encourage you to do even better, my administration will further improve your work environment to this end.
Well, we'll briefly interrupt this budget.
Breaking news isn't just about speed, but more importantly, about fact and accuracy. It is responsible journalism, being ahead, unbiased, sensitive, in telling the stories that people would want to hear in a way that protects their sanity and for the public good. And it goes beyond breaking the news to actually following up, exploring all the angles, engaging newsmakers, tracking impact, all geared towards informing, educating, and setting agenda for the people. Breaking news is holistic, entire, complete. It's about you, me, and the world we live in. Breaking news is at the core of what we do at TVC News, and it's the honor of my life to serve you this news, fresh off the press.
TVC News, first with breaking news. The Inspector General of Police has met with senior officers to review the state of security